Hey, welcome back to DriveDown. Today we're answering a very serious question. Here we have the Defender 110, supposedly SUV of the year, car of the year, automobile of the year by all our favorite publications. But we have to ask the real question, are they right? To start that, we need to start from the beginning. Oh no, Taylor again. Thought I wasn't gonna be in this one, huh?
Thanks again for watching DriveDown. At the beginning of the video, just wanted to give you a little bit of an update. If you watch our other videos, you may know that YouTube is just a slice of the pie for what we're planning on doing, ultimately resulting in a unique online car buying experience where you are in the driver's seat. Our website is currently going through development and we're looking forward to having it online this summer. Our website is below if you'd like to, keep posted on the journey and everything like that, but we'll still be here on YouTube in the meantime. But other than that, let's get started. So, reviewing the new Defender, what better way to see if it is a real Defender than driving a real OG Defender.
You can see the excitement on my face right now. I am so thrilled to be in this car.
I feel like we're in a school bus.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, to go over this car a little bit, this is a 1993 Defender D110. 110 is the wheelbase, so it's the 4-door NAS. So North American spec. This was one of the first Defenders that came over to the US. I think in this year it was the 110 and the 90. They only made 500 of these. To my knowledge, this is the only 110 that ever came over to the US, with the V8, sort of North American spec, hence why it's NAS. You'll see from the outside, the roll bar, everything is all OEM, factory, which is crazy. I mean, look, got the roll bar right here.
This is a real deal truck. I mean, this is not sugarcoating anything. This is a manual only vehicle.
Yeah,
that's the only way they came from the factory. And unfortunately, it was only a 1-year production because nobody bought them. This was a $50,000 truck in the early 90s when a Jeep Wrangler, which could do similar things, was what, 20 grand, 25 grand?
Yeah.
I don't know, but amazing. What character, what specialness? Taylor, what do you like about the car?
Everything. I think it's an unbelievable. There are certain cars that you drive and they are just special. And it just feels special. I mean, in terms of driving dynamics, nothing. That's not what this car is about. I know that if we ever got off-road, if we were in a situation, it would be, you're unstoppable. You throw it in low range, you're good. And this one's got the ARB rear locker, the air locker. It's got old man emu suspension. Thank you to the generous owner for lending it to us today.
Yes.
I feel very privileged to be driving this car.
Yes, this is a very special one. We're very lucky to have access to it. 1 of 500. With the placard on the back stating what number it is.
277.
277. And I will tell you, fit and finish, non-existent. You have massive welds.
I wonder if they can hear this squeaking. Everything.
Everything is plastic. Everything is just kind of slapped all over the place.
The carpet's stuck on.
You got gauges on the passenger side. You got a tachometer that's the size of a dime. I don't even know if you can read that. But it's purpose built. I truly feel like we could go climb a mountain in a blizzard and beat the mountain goats to the top. This thing is the most unapologetic truck I've ever been in. Even more crude than the G-Wagon.
The nice thing I think about this car is that it's so freaking cool. Like, I've never been stared at as much as I get stared at in this car. When you talk about why would somebody buy one of these today, as expensive as they are, it's because it's an item. It's just cool.
Yes.
Right?
And
I'm going off the side of the road, but guess what? It doesn't matter.
You don't feel bad when you drive this thing.
No.
It can withstand the nuclear fallout. This thing will outlive every single one of us.
So, obviously driving this car, we know that as far as driving experiences go, the new one's going to be totally different. We know that. But a lot of people have been questioning. There's no doubt the Defender is a great car, the new Defender, right? Is it a Defender? Is it what people think a Defender should be? Does it have the character? Does it feel similar? Can you see the DNA? I think that's really why we had this car, is to find out, correct?
Yes, and I think evolution is probably the key word here. I think Porsche is the best demonstrator of that.
Evolution, not revolution.
Yeah, in the 911, you know, I think Land Rover took a massive jump forward from where we're sitting now to where we're going to be sitting in 1 minute. And to be honest with you, you have to do that in this day and age. People can't drive this vehicle every day. It's too crude. But I gotta tell you, it's so cool.
It is very, very, very cool. Very cool. All right, time to hop out of the 93 and start looking at the new one. So also one thing I did want to mention is that we are going to be doing a more in-depth review of this when we start doing our Modern Classics series. That will be coming shortly. But for now, let's focus on the new one. Just wanted to spend a couple minutes going over the exterior like you know I do. We'll look at the interior, and then we'll do a quick drive as well. So looking at the Defender, I think they nailed it. I think it looks modern. You can't do a car that looks like the old one today just because of aerodynamics, pedestrian safety, all those things, right? But I think they did a really, really nice job. It's the type of thing where you do need to go see it in person. I know I always say that, but you do need to go see it in person. I do like as well this sort of, it almost looks like steel, you know, like steel plating. Obviously it's plastic, and this does come in shiny black plastic depending on the trim level you get. We are looking today here at a Defender 110, so it's the 4-door. We are getting the 90 soon, which is the 3-door as well. But this is the Defender 110S, so it's sort of the more base spec. This is a 4-cylinder that we're driving because we felt that the Defender, it's not about the performance, it's not about the size of the engine. The old one is very slow. This one has plenty of performance and it's good, fuel economy, everything like that, okay? So looking at this, these side vents are functional. They do close off, and if they can close off actually as well, that allows the Defender to have a significant weighting depth, which this car, you can watch plenty of videos online. The car is unbelievable off-road. In terms of tires, this car has the all-season tires. Off-road tires are optional as well. And the car does come standard with air suspension, where you can see this is at the middle height, sort of the normal ride height. You can go up or you can go down for loading access as well. Coil springs are going to be standard on the 2022. For the 2021, air suspension was standard. It's going to be a $1,600 option going forward. Something to know if you're looking at one and you're in the market. The obligatory rear mounted tire, obviously any sort of serious off-road car has that. The old one had it. Looking at the new Defender, comparing to the old one, we do see that we have sort of harkening back to the round taillights, right round in there. We do have the side opening tailgate. Everything in here is waterproof. There's no carpet to be seen anywhere. Got nice detailing in here, all body color on the inside. Overall, I do think that this car is very good looking. It depends on the type of trim level you can get. There is also a Defender X, which gets you all of this matte black plastic, becomes shiny. You get orange calipers, orange tow hooks as well. Wanted to also talk about one controversial thing on the side of the Defender. A lot of people wonder what this square is. If you look at the inside, actually come with me, you can see there's a structural beam here, right? So there's no glass there. That's why that piece is there, but also that actually protects, because that actually is where the optional side storage and ladder mount. They clip here and they mount right here. Another thing we have to focus on as well, the Alpine windows. That is a distinctive Discovery Defender thing, and I'm so glad they brought them back. And just to sort of finish, I wanted to look at the front, because the front of the Defender is definitely the most distinctive. It's what makes a Defender, right? So the old Defender says Defender on the front. This says Defender. You definitely see a lot of that DNA coming through. I think they did a really, really nice job. The Defender has the 2 turn signals. The old one, you see it sort of a little nod to that as well. Obviously, we have LED headlights on this. But I think, you know what? I think they really did do a nice job with it. So now, let's take a look at the interior. All right, hopping on the inside. Excuse it, it's a little dirty. We've been shooting. But one really nice thing about the Defender that I think we need to talk about is it is all rubber, plastic. There's no carpet. You can get carpeted floor mats, but why would you? These just snap down. But, you know, if you're going to be carrying the family, dog, you're going to be on a farm, whatever, I mean, it really is made for it, right? And then this with the S, you do get cloth seats as standard, but this has the optional leather, so you get leather centers, okay? And you actually get this cloth, which I love. I think it's really durable. 3 color options. This is the acorn. You get the khaki as well, which is sort of like a green, and then you can get black. Now, another thing we need to talk about on the interior is that you do have an optional foldable middle seat, right? So you can get that bench seat, get the, you know, vibes from back in the 90s, putting the whole family in the front seat. But this car has the center console, which I would go for the center console. I think they did a nice job. I love this wood as well. It's a big center console. You have wireless charging right here. Got cup holders, storage underneath. I think that's the way I would go. So hopping in, start her up. Okay, so we have, this car has the full digital gauges. That is an option on the S. The 6-cylinder is gonna come standard with those digital gauges, but the S actually has sort of a half digital, half analog. You can look it up. There are pictures of it online. It's something that Jaguar and Land Rover share together. New Pivi Pro, sorry for the flickering, sometimes that does happen, but new Pivi Pro developed with LG. They did a nice job on it. You can obviously look up videos, as I've mentioned in the past. We are not going to be, you know, going over the ins and outs of the infotainment systems. That's something, you know, we think there's plenty of content out already. So sitting in here, the question, right, does the old Defender DNA carry through? I say yes. You have the very upright dash, right? Which reminds me of the other Defender. The nice thing they did though is you get all this storage behind here and here, and this is actually metal. You get right here, this is sort of a finished metal. This actually has physical buttons. You have your air suspension controls right here, hill descent. You have your low range, which yes, this car does have low range. And you have your climate controls here. I just think they did an awesome job. Even the gear knob, sort of where it's placed. Overall, just a nice place to be. You got plenty of room. This car has a 3rd row seat as well. There is one thing that, you know, I did want to talk about as well, right? You know, they really tried to make this car feel, I'm going to turn it off so it stops making that noise, but they really tried to make this car feel like it was a Defender. So when you look at the door panel, look at that. I mean, you have these exposed sort of screws, right? And then you have the body color. So if the car is black, this is going to be black, you know, and that actually comes around. When you shut the door, you can still see it, which I personally love that. And then if you don't get the X, which has full leather, right? You would get full leather everywhere. This is this sort of, almost it feels like a, I don't know, like a scuba suit material. It feels like it would be durable. It feels nice and quality. Really, yeah, I think they just did a nice job with it. It feels utilitarian, but also fairly luxurious. This is a nod to the old Defender. You got the handles here. The old one has that as well. But overall, I think they did a very nice job with the interior and panoramic roof as well, which is an option. So that being said, why don't we get on the road and drive it and see what we think?
So, new Defender time. Right off the bat, I can tell you, I am much more comfortable. I mean,
That's like the biggest understatement.
yeah, those seats and that NAS Spec.
My back hurts.
Yeah, they were brutal.
I hate to sound like I'm complaining because I'm extremely grateful that we had the chance to drive that car.
Yeah, but we're here to give an honest review, and you know, we're in the new one, and immediately it's so quiet, it's so comfortable, it's so nice.
So nice. And I think, you know, everybody's saying how it's not a real Defender. Well, is being a real Defender mean that, does that mean that you can't drive it every day? Does that mean that it's unlivable? Like, are those things that the car needs to be a Defender? Because if that's the case, then this is not a Defender. This is something far better, far superior.
I think that it's the same argument the 911 purists give. Cars have to evolve, they have to get better, just like all technology. And Land Rover has just demonstrated what they can do. I mean, this thing is quiet, it's comfortable, we're getting great gas mileage. You can have a normal conversation, whereas in the other car, we were holding on for dear life and bouncing around and having a great time.
Yeah.
But like you said, that's an item, that's an experience. this is actually
a good car.
Usable car. So anyways, talking about the new D110, you know, we are in the 2-liter turbo. We're going to find out the performance here in a second, but this is probably going to be the engine most people opt for.
Because it just gets too expensive with the inline 6. I mean, you're looking at in the 70s base.
And where are you going that quickly? You know, we're going to get on the freeway here, hit a small bump, even with air suspension, barely felt it. Second gear has no issues, you know, just
60.
easy.
I mean,
yeah.
What do you know,
So
what more
nice.
do you really need, honestly?
You know, one thing that I think is not getting enough attention in most reviews is these storage solutions. You have wireless charging right here. My cell phone is somewhere where I can get to it safely and it's charging.
Normally, I mean, we have our GoPro stuff is, my phone is here. I mean,
in the other Defender, you know, we had a bag and a camera thing and blah, blah, blah. You know, this is just very functional. You know, if you're a parent, if you're on the road a lot, you know, there's just places to put things. You know?
And I was just going to say it's ironic that we're filming, you know, when we were talking about what we were going to film with this car, we were like, we should definitely do a freeway section. The old Defender, you avoid the freeway. You know how nav systems give you the option to avoid toll roads, avoid highways? You select that with the old Defender, because I mean, it gets sketchy. But I think they just did such a good job with this car. What do you think about the interior? I think if you just put a blindfold on, right, and you like had to touch and feel like the hard edges and everything, there are similarities to the old D110.
Yeah, completely. You have these grab handles over here.
Right.
There's the other one, but these are actually made of metal and feel cool.
Yeah.
Plastic. You're not hearing any creaking. You have beautiful light coming in the cabin. This pano sunroof, which is an option.
Yep.
$1,700 or something. Plus those Alpine windows are, you know, obviously a nod, as Taylor said earlier, to the previous generation.
So you stopped. Does that mean I get to drive?
Yeah, I think it's your turn.
Yes. The thing about this car is, dynamically, for as big as it is, it actually feels pretty good. And actually, there's another video, Harry's Garage. He had a 6-cylinder one. He was whipping it, and he was like, this thing dynamically is really impressive. And it is. Land Rover does, you know, handling and ride. They're pretty good at it.
Touching on all these positives, you know, nothing's perfect. And I'm struggling.
We need to start, we need to start reviewing some worse cars where we can, you know, rip into them a little, because, I mean, you know, the Defender, you know, it has gotten glowing reviews, right? I think that is for a reason. Okay, drawbacks. Reliability. It's always going to be a question with Land Rover Jaguar products. It still is a question. I have seen people buy the Defenders on YouTube and they have issues and what have you. But it's the first year of a car. You're always going to have problems the first year of a car.
I don't care what manufacturer you buy from. You know, they iron out the details as the years go on.
Yeah. The 2025 Defender is going to be...
Oh, it's going to be perfect.
Money.
Just like how they're already adding the larger display for next year. You know, they're already making refinements. They're, you know, obviously going to make build quality better because they're going to have more experience with it. But it's not bad. I mean, there's no air leaks, there's no rattles. You know, a couple things I don't like. I don't love that digital mirror, which this car does have. I'm not sure if it's an option. TD, is it?
It is an option. Yes, the clear side rear view mirror.
You don't have to have it. Makes me nauseous, but hey, if you're,
it is cool.
If you got a bunch of kids
and
in the car,
you just flip it up, flip it down.
Yeah. I mean, if you're trailering, I'm sure it's very helpful.
You can see decently out of the back of this without it.
Yeah.
So even though the tire's there, but yeah.
You know, I don't love where the volume knob is placed, but
it's kind of weird.
You do have a scroll wheel on the steering wheel, so not much to gripe on there.
A gripe I have, the infotainment and everything has moved on, but it's still not on up to par. I think it's still laggy, it's still a little glitchy. You know, there are some times that you get in the car, you turn it on, and the gauge screen is just black for like 15 seconds, and then eventually things start coming in. It's like, come on, you want to like slap it, like come on. But I feel
like everyone uses their cell phones now, though.
Yeah.
You know, you get
no wireless CarPlay.
Oh, really?
No, wired.
That's
so
thumbs down.
That's annoying.
You know, I think, you know, these MMI displays, I think they need to look good. I think they need to function well. I don't think they need to be as good as an iPad or your smartphone.
I agree.
I don't think you interact with them. I do appreciate the physical temperature knobs.
I talked about that during the interior overview.
I was absent for that. But, you know, you have USB-C, you have your standard USBs. You know, it's just really good.
It's a great family car.
Yeah.
I honestly think that this car, on off-road tires, you jack the air suspension up, you put it in low range. It's got, you can get a active differential as an option in the rear. You are not getting stuck.
And if you do get stuck, somebody else is going to get stuck in that same spot. I mean,
we're splitting hairs.
Or they trailer their off-road vehicle, which, you know, you can do that. If that's your thing, I totally respect it. I love the off-road community. I occasionally get to go off-roading, and I have a great time doing it. And I would love to do it in this. I mean,
me too.
There's nothing this thing can't do. And on Monday morning, you can drive to work. You can take it to, you know, school. You can drive across country comfortably.
And I just want to say one thing. Think about when we were younger. Think about your parent or whatever picking you up from something in this. You'd be like, yeah, like this thing is, it's cool.
Oh, it has
the cool factor.
Yeah.
That I think the Defender name is cool. Like that is what the Defender is. It's cool. And I think this car lives up to that. I think it's cool.
Absolutely.
So why don't we park, go over the window sticker, talk about what we think, and conclude.
Okay. All right, so I think it's window sticker time.
Window sticker, conclusion time. First of all, thank you to Jaguar Land Rover Solon for allowing us to use this car for the day. Definitely much appreciated. Let's get into it. Normally I know I'm reading it like this, but it's in the window and I didn't want to remove it. So this is, like we said, the 2-liter turbocharged Ingenium. That's Jaguar Land Rover's name for their line of engines. The Ingenium 4-cylinder turbocharged, 296 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque, which honestly is all you need with this car.
Felt plenty, never lagged, never had an issue.
Smooth.
Yeah, quiet.
I think we're in agreement. The 6 is nice, but the 4 is all you need.
You know, if you want to spend up for it, I totally get it. You definitely get a big increase in power.
And you do get the mild hybrid as well.
400 horsepower, you get that torque fill, you get bigger brakes, but that's up for you to decide. The 2-liter is more than adequate for daily use.
I would agree.
Yeah, and way less stuff to brake.
So on this one, air suspension, standard. 2022, it will not be standard anymore. Would you pay $1,600 for air suspension?
Yes.
Okay.
Next question.
Okay. So MSRP, $53,350. Okay. Well, I'm feeling pretty good at 53 with this car, right? Yeah. So this car has the cold climate pack, which gets you the heated windscreen. Love a heated windshield. Yeah, I do personally.
Especially
heated washer jets, headlight power wash, heated steering wheel. I'd probably do it for $700. So the comfort and convenience pack, the premium cabin lighting, the center console refrigerator. Skip, yeah, and the Meridian sound system.
I got my Yeti cooler.
So yeah, so it looks like a lot of the stuff on this car is a la carte. Okay, so we got the Pano roof for $1,750.
Must have.
Yes, absolutely. Manual heated third row seats, $1,700.
You know, if you want your kids to be nice,
they are
toasty,
usable. They are usable.
It's a nice thing to have. I wouldn't have it, but if you are using this as a family hauler, at least you know you have the option. With the shape of this vehicle, it definitely pays homage to, you know, the NAS 110, and you know, it's slab-sided, it's squared off. You know, this one doesn't have the fender flare option, but I kind of like it without it.
I agree.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm going to say too. Jaguar Land Rover Solon has one with all the accessories inside. Save your money. I mean, they're expensive and they're not like they're plasticky.
Buy the bigger motor.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, I feel like the aftermarket's going to come out with some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
So, especially now with the 2022s on coil springs, you're going to see them lifted.
Oh yeah,
that's going to be
sure.
Okay.
And then you can't have your hardcore off-road Defender back.
The 20-inch 5-spoke gloss wheels, I personally do not like these wheels. I like more tire on this car. If it was me, I would just have the standard 19s and do the off-road tires and you're good.
Yeah, and with the 2-liter, you can get the Steelies.
Yeah,
a little more weight, but hey,
buddy.
You know, they are Steelies. They are
Steelies. 12-way heated front seats. Yes. Noted, they're heated for $500. They are not power.
Land Rover, can we get
I'm
power?
I'm annoyed. The more we talk about it, the more annoyed I get. Okay.
That's another strike.
Clear sight, rear view mirror, 450. I know I like it, but and then the rest of the stuff is just satellite radio, blah 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 blah. Okay, so all said and done, this one with some accessories and stuff is 67. But I mean, you don't need any of that. This car probably, let's be realistic, to get one that like has the stuff you want on it, 60.
Yeah, and
right?
at 60, you know, you're in line with a Wrangler Rubicon that you can take the roof off, you can take the doors off, and that's great. But in the middle of winter, when you have to drive to go see the in-laws, you're probably going to wish you were in this. Obviously, there is space in the market for both, but I'm taking this.
I would probably take this as well. So that, you know, gets to our conclusion. All right, so conclusion time.
Yep.
So I hate, like you said, to be all positive everything, but this is a very, very impressive car. It's competent, comfortable, useful, characterful, and cool. It's cool at the end of the day.
It really checks a lot of boxes.
It's cool.
For all buyers, car fans, people that just like a product that works. Speaking of works, you know, there are some videos out there that have touched on some unreliable Defenders in the marketplace. Land Rover's doing a great job of taking those back. We are definitely not being told to say this. It's just we're car fans. You know, like any good Land Rover, there's going to be a couple little issues, but they always work through them. The products only evolve to get better, and I have no doubt this is going to be a great seller for Land Rover. I mean,
Absolutely.
This is an amazing.
Absolutely, vehicle. Absolutely. And to think it's Land Rover's luck that they finally bring the Defender back, and then boom, COVID hits. Like right when they were going to release it, you know, but it's a great car.
Even COVID can't stop this. It's just a
no off-road obstacle, no you know pandemic can stop the Defender, right?
I truly this is a buy, and furthermore, I think we are in agreement.
We're in agreement. We are in agreement, which is a beautiful thing. So I know some of our viewers are crying. It's so beautiful, right?
Yeah. Please like and subscribe.
Absolutely. We'll have more content out soon, but have a great rest of your day, night, whatever, and we'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.